What is really going on in America? In the United States, we've been in a prolonged economic downturn since the fall of 2008. Is it possible that we are poised for a return of a new form of the sweatshop to the USA? Exactly what is a sweatshop? Well, sweatshops grew up out of the garment industry and are pegged to have started in the United States between 1830 and 1850. They capitalized on a desperate workforce, worked people for long hours for low pay, maybe even had children working. They were dangerous working conditions, and they had someone called a sweater, which basically was a subcontractor that had a workforce that would often produce the products for the final customer. Workers couldn't organize because the sweatshop kept them pretty much isolated. Now, unions pretty much ended most of the practices of the sweatshops, and labor laws were put in place by the governments. But did they go away? No. Companies basically just moved their work to other countries that employed sweatshops. So, you see, it didn't leave, it just moved. Now, you may ask, if sweatshops are gone, what am I talking about them now for? This is the 21st century. But let's look at what's going on. Desperate workforce. Well, yeah, I would say so. There are millions of unemployed workers, and some have exhausted all of their benefits. The sweater or subcontractor. Not exactly the same, but we now have a system of staffing firms, outsourcing firms, temp to perm type situations, and many highly skilled, educated workers, professionals, are going to work on contract basis, 6-month contracts. And what happens at the end of those? Oftentimes, they're released, so they don't go into permanent payroll. Workers' inability to organize. Union membership is at an all-time low. And given what's happening in Wisconsin and some other states, that's going to accelerate with the stripping of bargaining rights. Well, this new sweatshop environment is invading all classes of work, from public education, business professionals, health professionals, and trade workers. Suppose a teacher ends up with 50 students in a class. You might call that a sweatshop of sorts. So this is the new environment, and this could be called the new return of sweatshops in America.